You guys, I'm still reeling from what happened this Thanksgiving. It wasn't just a holiday gone wrong. It was a total gut punch, a moment where years of silent hurt finally erupted into a screaming match with my own mother. Honestly, I'm still trying to process how someone can be so outrageously hypocritical, and you're going to be just as furious as I was. So, for a little backstory, I'm Sarah, 33, and I have an amazing son named Charlie. Most of the time, my parents and I get along, but if you follow my past updates, you know there's always been this simmering tension, especially when it comes to my sister, Emily. She's always been their golden child, perfect in their eyes, and if you ask them, they'd swear she's the better daughter. I learned to live with it, or so I thought. This year, when Thanksgiving rolled around, my parents called to invite me over. But they were super specific. No kids this year, Sarah. We're keeping it quiet. It's going to be an adult dinner. At first, I was a little bummed, but then I thought, okay, a peaceful dinner? That actually sounds nice. I was looking forward to some adult time, just for a few hours. I plan to drop Charlie off with his babysitter, swing by for dinner, and then head back before he even missed me. To be absolutely sure, I even called my mom the night before. Just confirming, it's strictly adults, right? I asked, even though I already knew the answer. Oh yes, Sarah, she chirped. We want a nice, quiet Thanksgiving. No kids running around causing a ruckus. Everything seemed settled. The next day, I left the house, anticipating a quick, easy trip. I imagined a few calm hours with my family. When I arrived, their house looked exactly as I remembered it. Festive, smelling incredible, that classic holiday warmth. I pictured having a peaceful meal, maybe even some one-on-one time with my mom. But the second I walked in, something felt off. Terribly off. The first thing that hit me wasn't the delicious smell of turkey, but noise. So much noise. It was the distinct sound of children's laughter, of little feet thudding across the floor. I froze. Blinking in disbelief, I heard a voice shout, "Aunt Sarah! Aunt Sarah!" I looked over, and there they were, Emily's 3 kids, tearing through the kitchen, chasing each other, playing tag, making the exact kind of chaos my parents had explicitly said they didn't want. I just stood there stunned. Wait, what? I actually wondered if I was hallucinating for a second. But no, there they were, undeniably Emily's kids. Confused and frankly, already annoyed, I turned to my mom. She was at the stove, stirring the gravy, acting like she didn't have a care in the world. "Mom," I said, trying to keep my voice even, "you said no kids this year." She turned, a smile plastered on her face that completely missed the mark. "Oh, honey, we did say no kids, but Emily's kids are different. You know how it is with your son." My heart hammered in my chest. Different? What in the actual hell did that even mean? "Mom," I practically yelled, my voice rising. "You told me it was going to be a quiet dinner, no kids running around because they're too loud. But this is exactly what you said you didn't want." She gave me that look, you know the one she gives when she absolutely refuses to have an uncomfortable conversation. "Well, your sister's kids are well behaved, Sarah. They're quieter." My face burned. "They're quieter?" That was a straight-up slap across the face. I glanced at Emily, who was standing by the table, a smug little smile playing on her lips. She was clearly enjoying my humiliation. "It's not a big deal, Sarah," Emily chimed in. "Mom just wants a calm dinner with family, and you know my kids know how to act." "Know how to act?" My son is well behaved. He's not perfect, no kid is, but he's certainly not a problem. Yet, somehow, I was the one excluded. My child was deemed too loud for Thanksgiving, while Emily's kids could run riot. Tears stung my eyes. I was so angry, but I refused to break down. Not in front of them. I took a deep, shaky breath. My hand trembled. "I'm sorry." I managed, my voice raw with frustration, "but I can't do this." I turned on my heel and walked straight out the door. I didn't look back. I didn't wait for my mom to call after me, or for Emily to say anything else. I just left. I drove home in a daze, my mind racing, my heart heavy with a mix of anger and hurt. I felt like an outsider, like my son didn't matter, like we were less than. I want to call them, to scream and yell, but what was the point? I already knew where I stood. I wasn't going to get through to them. Nothing would change. 2 days passed. I thought maybe I'd just let it go, let the holiday drama blow over. But then, this morning, the text started. First, my dad. He asked how I was doing, said he and Mom missed me and were sorry for how things went. But the words fell hollow. Fake. Then came the text from Emily. She was asking for money. Said they were tight this month, needed a loan, just temporary. I stared at the screen in utter disbelief. After everything, after treating me like dirt, after excluding me from a family dinner for a ridiculous reason, they had the nerve to ask me for money? I was shaking with anger, but a strange clarity washed over me. I knew exactly what I had to do. I wouldn't let them manipulate me. Not ever again. I just sat there, staring at the text, letting the rage simmer. How could they? After the blatant hypocrisy of Thanksgiving, they had the audacity to come to me for money? I felt like I was drowning in frustration. They made me feel small, dismiss my son and me, and now they expected me to rescue them when things got tough? How convenient. I wasn't going to be their fixer anymore. The one who always cleaned up everyone else's mess while they treated me like an afterthought. So, I took a deep breath, my fingers hovering over the phone. I knew this was it. I typed, Emily, I saw your message. I know things are tough, but I can't help you out this time. You made it clear my son wasn't welcome at Thanksgiving, and I've got no interest in being treated like an outsider anymore. I've helped you guys enough, and you've taken advantage of my kindness for too long. I'm done. I hit send. My heart pounded, but I knew it was the only way. I couldn't keep enabling their behavior. I wasn't their bank, their emotional punching bag, or their doormat. Her reply came almost instantly. Sarah, please don't be like this. You're family. I didn't mean it like that. I was just asking for a little help. We've always helped you, right? We've always been there for you when you needed us. My blood boiled. They've always helped me. I couldn't remember a single time my parents or Emily truly had my back. Sure, they'd make an effort sometimes, but it was always on their terms, always when it made them look good. I saw right through her manipulation, trying to guilt-trip me into feeling bad for standing up for myself. But not this time. I took a moment to breathe, then typed, You've never been there for me, Emily. Not when it counted. You don't get to use me when it's convenient for you. If you need to figure things out, you'll have to do it on your own. I won't be part of this toxic cycle anymore. I hit send, feeling a strange mix of relief and profound sadness. I knew this would stir up a storm. It wouldn't be easy, but I couldn't let them walk all over me anymore. Then, like clockwork, my phone started blowing up. My dad again, asking me to consider the family and remember how things used to be. Then a call from my mom. I didn't pick up at first. My hand was shaking too much, but she kept calling, again and again. Finally, I answered. Sarah, why are you being like this? Your father and I are upset. We've always been here for you, my mom said, her voice trying to sound softer than I expected. Really? You've always been here for me. I shot back, my anger flaring. You told me my son wasn't welcome at Thanksgiving, and you still haven't apologized for it. You treat me like I'm not even part of the family, but you expect me to bail you out when things are tough? It doesn't work like that. A long pause stretched between us. I heard her sigh, that familiar, dismissive sound. Sarah, it's not like that. You've always been a bit dramatic, she started. Oh no, I wasn't having any of it. No, I interrupted her. You don't get to call me dramatic after what you did. You told me my kid was too loud. That's what this is about. I've been your daughter for years. And this is how you treat me? You don't get to act like nothing happened and expect me to just let it go. I could hear her voice cracking as she tried to backpedal. Please, we're sorry. We just didn't want it to be too loud. I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. You didn't want it to be too loud, but Emily's kids can run around and scream, and that's fine. You are so full of it. The tears welled up again, but I fought them back. I wouldn't let them manipulate me with guilt. Look, Mom, I'm done. I've had enough. I'm not your fallback anymore. I'm not your plan B for when things go wrong. Don't call me again unless you're ready to really apologize. The line went quiet for a few seconds. My mom sighed again, almost as if she was trying to get me to feel sorry for her. We'll talk later, okay? Yeah, we'll see. I muttered, hanging up. The rest of the day passed in a blur. I went to bed feeling angry, betrayed, and utterly exhausted. My phone stayed silent after that call, but I knew it was only a matter of time before they tried again. They always did. It wasn't just the Thanksgiving incident that hurt. It was everything leading up to it. The way they'd always made me feel like I was second-rate compared to Emily, putting her on a pedestal while I was expected to just swallow my pride. I was sick of it. Then came another message, this time from Emily again. Sarah, we really need your help. Things are getting bad, and we don't have anyone else to turn to. Please, just this once. I swear I'll make it up to you. I sat there, staring at the text for what felt like an eternity. The weight of the decision pressed down on me. The air in the room felt thick. Every fiber of my being screamed to say no, to shut them out for good. But then that tiny voice whispered, asterisk their family. They'll change. They need you. Asterisk no. I quickly reminded myself. They hadn't changed. Not really. They'd offered weak apologies, always about saving face, never truly acknowledging what they'd done. I let them walk all over me for so long because I was afraid of pushing them away completely. But this time felt different. I put my phone down and leaned back, rubbing my temples. I was so tired of the emotional games, the guilt trips, of always being the one who gave in. My son was my priority. He deserved a mother who stood up for herself, who showed him you don't have to bend over backward for people who don't respect you. I closed my eyes, thinking about how my parents had treated me for years, how they'd praised Emily for every little thing, while I was left fighting for scraps. I wasn't just a black sheep. I was the one who had to fight for basic acknowledgement. My phone buzzed again. I almost didn't want to look, but curiosity won. Another message from Emily. Sarah, please. I'm really sorry for how things went down. You know, I didn't mean to hurt you, right? Things have been hard lately. The kids, the house, everything. I'm trying, but I don't know what to do. I need you. We need you. Please. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. She was trying to guilt trip me again, trying to make me feel like I was abandoning her when she'd turned her back on me all these years. We need you. How many times had I heard that, only to be cast aside when they no longer needed me? But this time, I wasn't falling for it. I had to put my foot down, and I had to stay firm for myself, for my son. I took a deep breath and typed my response. I'm sorry, Emily, but I'm not going to keep enabling this. You made it clear that I'm not welcome when things aren't going your way. I've helped you before, but I'm done now. I got to take care of my own, and that doesn't include being the one you turn when you need something. You've made your choices, and now you have to live with them. I hit send without looking back. It felt both liberating and terrifying. I knew this was the breaking point, the moment that could change everything. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed again. My mom this time. Sarah, what's going on? Why are you shutting us out? We're family, and we've always helped you, even when you didn't ask. Don't do this. I stared at the message, letting the words sink in. We've always helped you. The same old story. They always acted like I owed them something, like they'd done so much for me, when, in reality, it was the bare minimum. I took a breath and dialed her number. No more texts. I needed to hear her voice one last time, hear how she would try to manipulate me into giving in. When she picked up, her voice was calm, but I could hear the frustration brewing. Sarah, please, I don't know why you're doing this. We've always been there for you. We're family. Always been there for me. I repeated, my voice rising. You haven't been there for me. You've been there for Emily. You've always put her first, and you've made me feel like I was just some backup. Well, I'm done. I'm done being the second choice. I'm done being your safety net. I'm done. I heard her sharp intake of breath. Sarah, don't say that. You don't mean it. We can work this out. We're family. You're overreacting. Don't be dramatic. My heart skipped a beat, and my anger flared white-hot. Dramatic? After everything they'd put me through, that's what she was going to say? I'm not overreacting. I shot back. I've been patient for so long. I've let you walk all over me, and I'm not doing it anymore. I've spent my entire life feeling like I didn't matter to you, like I was just an afterthought. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that everything's fine when you treat me like this. A long silence on the other end. I could hear my mom's shallow, shaky breathing. She didn't know how to respond, and for the first time, I didn't feel bad about it. You don't understand, Sarah, she finally said, her voice breaking. We're just trying to help. It's not easy for any of us. No, you're not. I replied, my voice firm. You've never been about helping. You've been about controlling. She didn't say anything after that. I hung up, knowing that things had just changed forever. A strange mix of relief and dread coursed through me. My hands were shaking, but I wasn't sure if it was from the anger still burning inside or the sheer weight of what I'd just done. Cutting ties with my family, or at least part of it, felt like a betrayal. But at the same time, it felt like the most honest thing I'd done in years. I stared at the phone for a moment longer, feeling the silence in my house, the absence of all those familiar yet suffocating family dynamics. It was peaceful, almost too peaceful, like the calm after a storm, where the winds had died down, and all that was left was the wreckage. But I knew it was necessary. I'd spent so long bending over backward for people who didn't truly care about me, and now I was finally standing up for myself, putting my son first. I wasn't going to let my own family continue to drag me down with their expectations, their guilt trips, and their blatant favoritism. For years, they'd made me feel like I wasn't enough, like I had to earn my place in the family, prove myself every damn day. And in the end, nothing was ever enough. I wasn't about to let my son grow up watching that kind of toxic behavior. He deserved better. He deserved to see a strong, confident mother who knew her worth, who knew how to set boundaries, and who wasn't afraid to walk away from relationships that no longer served her. The phone buzzed again, another message, this time from Emily. Sarah, please don't do this. I'm sorry, I know I've messed up, but you're making it worse. You're breaking up the family. I need you. We all do. You can't just walk away from us. We're your family. The words felt so hollow. You're breaking up the family. That was always the threat, wasn't it? The ultimate guilt trip, the one thing they could use to make me feel like I was the bad guy. But this time it didn't work. I didn't feel a pang of guilt. I didn't feel bad for making the hard choice. I felt empowered. I didn't even bother responding. Instead, I locked my phone and turned it off. I didn't need to hear anymore. I needed space to think, to focus on myself and my son. For the first time in what felt like forever, I wasn't constantly worried about their drama. I wasn't pacing around wondering if they were going to come after me again, demanding an explanation or playing their usual emotional games. That night, I curled up on the couch with my son, who was playing quietly beside me. I've been so caught up in the drama for so long that I'd almost forgotten how peaceful it could be, just the two of us. The weight that had been on my chest for years seemed to lift a little, and I felt like I could breathe again. I didn't have to worry about all the tension and resentment that had been building. I didn't have to feel like I had to choose between my son and my family. The next few days were quieter than I expected. My phone stayed silent, and I wasn't sure whether to feel relieved or nervous. Was this the calm before the storm? I had no idea, but something told me this was just the beginning. I had no illusions that my family would let me go so easily. They would fight, push and pull, try to guilt trip me, manipulate me into coming back. But I was ready for it. A week later, the inevitable happened. My mom showed up at my door. She didn't knock, didn't call first. She just appeared, her face pained but determined. I could see she'd been crying, her eyes red-rimmed. But I wasn't going to fall for it. Not this time. I crossed my arms and leaned against the doorframe, studying her without saying anything. "Sarah," she began, her voice soft and wavering. "You can't just do this. We're your family. You can't cut us off like this. I've been calling, but you won't answer. I need you to understand." "I do understand, Mom," I replied, my voice steady. "I understand that you've always made me feel second to Emily. I understand that no matter what I do, it's never enough. And I understand that if I keep allowing myself to be treated like this, nothing will ever change." Her face twisted in shock, like she didn't know what to say to that. She took a step back, as though my words had physically pushed her away. "You don't mean that," she pleaded. "You can't. You're just upset, and I get it, but you don't understand what you're doing. This isn't just about you and Emily. This is about the family." "No," I snapped. "It's about me. For once, it's about me, and I'm done. I've spent my whole life trying to be good enough for you, for Emily. I've tried to be everything you wanted me to be, but it's never been enough. I've had enough of the games. I've had enough of the drama. And I'm not coming back this time." Her eyes filled with tears, and for a split second, I almost felt guilty. But I shook my head, willing the feeling away. I couldn't let myself fall back into that same old cycle of manipulation and guilt. "I love you, Mom," I said, my voice softening just a bit, "but I need to love myself more. I need to stand up for what's right for me, and right now, that means walking away." She stood there for a long moment, staring at me, her face a mix of disbelief and profound sadness. But I didn't flinch. I didn't apologize. I didn't back down. Finally, she turned and walked away. There were no more words, no more guilt trips. As she disappeared down the driveway, I closed the door behind me, locking it without looking back. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. The road ahead was going to be tough. But I had made my decision, and there was no going back. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I was finally in control of my own life. No more manipulation. No more guilt. Just me, my son, and the peace I had earned. And I wasn't going to let anything or anyone take that away from me. It was truly over.